Good morning and once again welcome to my YouTube channel, Maths with Ease by Mr. Kamotho. And we have something special this morning to do. We have understood solving quadratic equations using factorization method. We have understood solving quadratic equations using completing the square. And now we want to introduce ourselves to solving quadratic equation using the quadratic formula as shown. But first and foremost, and before we learn how to use the formula, it is important to know how does the formula come about, how can we derive the formula from a general equation of this nature. And let us get started. We have ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. And at this point, we realize that the c has to come across, and we have ax squared plus bx is equals to minus c. And because the coefficient of x squared is not known, because a can be anything, it can be 2, it can be 10, it can be -3, we would wish to divide everything by a, at least to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. And therefore now we have x squared plus b over a x is equals to minus c over a. Now let us get to completing the square, and we start with this, the left hand side, which is going to give us x plus, you can already see that our b is not just b. It is simple b over a. So when we are having b over a as b, it is that b over a that is going to be divided by 2. That is going to be divided by 2. We can have b over a that is going to be divided by 2 or to be multiplied by half, which is b over 2a. And therefore we have b over 2a squared minus b over 2a squared is equals to minus c over a. Let us try to open this bracket, and we have x plus b over 2a squared minus b squared over 4a squared, because 2a squared is 4a squared, is equals to minus c over a. And because this is also a constant, let us take it to the other side. Let us have something like this: x plus b over 2a squared is equals to b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. And as you can see, we can already have the right hand side put together under the LCM, which is going to be 4a squared. And let us have something like this now. So we are going to have x plus b over 2a squared is equals to, the LCM is 4a squared, which when divided by 4a squared is 1. 1 times b squared is b squared. This LCM divided by a is 4a times minus c. We have minus 4ac. At that particular point, we can easily now get the square root of both sides, so that on the left hand side, we are having x plus b over 2a. It's no longer squared now. We can leave it that way because we have effectively the square root on this side and the square root on this side, which is equals to the square root of the numerator here is not easily cannot be easily found, so we have it just under the square root b squared minus 4ac over the square root of the denominator. Basically the square root of 4 is 2 and the square root of a squared is a. And at that point now we want to make x the subject of the formula, so everything else goes across. So we have x is equals to, when this part crosses the equal sign, it becomes minus b over 2a. And remember, because we had a square root of the numerator, this is plus or minus. Again, we bring it here, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, everything over 2a. And again, clearly we can see that the denominators are alike, and therefore we can actually have this a common LCM or a common denominator, whereby we have a common denominator which is 2a. 2a divided by 2a is 1. 1 times minus b is minus b, plus or minus 2a divided by 2a is 1. 1 times whatever is here becomes itself b squared minus 4ac. So we can all agree that we have now attained the quadratic formula which is to be used to solve all quadratic equations. So as you can see, this is our quadratic formula which we were actually to show, and as you can see, it is here, hence shown. That is easily how we can derive the quadratic formula. And thank you. Let's see how now we can use it moving forward.